What's going on, F1 fans? It's Alex, and that's Eileen, and it's Lights Out F1, and we're here talking the Austrian Grand Prix. We just finished watching it on this lovely Sunday afternoon. Here in America, it's the 4th of July, so happy 4th of July here, everybody. To everybody else, it's just a typical Sunday at the end of a triple header, and
And Max won them all, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy to see that we had a lot of fans. From what the announcer said, over 130,000 fans were there. It was pretty cool. We saw all...
And 129,000 were Max fans.
Yeah, there was a couple McLaren fans, as we heard.
Not according to Lando. They were all his fans.
All his fans, yes. But exciting weekend going into the end of the triple header. I'm just going to start right kind of from the beginning of the weekend. Practice was kind of typical. Anything special ring out to you? Nothing much, right?
No, not really. I feel like it was normal. It was normal.
Yeah, they were testing some tires that they're going to use later on. And they're somewhere right around the C4 area, but probably a little bit more durable. And probably for the Silverstone race, they're going to use them for. So I think that was a good test. Other than that, nothing much.
Yeah, practice is pretty typical.
But so then qualifying, we got into qualifying, and honestly, Max was disappointed.
Oh my God. Rolling my eyes.
Yeah, but it was pretty entertaining for us,
Yeah.
F1 fans for sure. We saw
Lando almost take pole, which was
take pole.
the most exciting part of the weekend.
Yeah, we saw George Russell get into Q3.
Mm-hmm. Again, technically, I mean, I guess last weekend he made it in by penalty, but
he made
this time he made it in
on
mediums.
Yeah, on medium. So that was pretty awesome. We were rooting for him. So yeah, this weekend I was rooting for Lewis to come in, and I was rooting for Russell to have get some points.
Yeah, and I guess I jinxed Russell. Last night I was like, we were just sitting around. I'm like, I can't wait to watch George get points tomorrow. It's going to be epic. And he's like, you just jinxed it. So
she totally
I guess
jinxed
I did. Sorry, George.
She did. She jinxed it. So yeah, it was a little disappointing. So now, as you know, he did not finish in the top 10. He
finished 11th.
Yeah, and he was holding his own against Alonso, but Alonso's got experience, and he's been consistent too, always in the top 10 here in the races lately. So,
well, I think after qualifying for Alonso and the whole drama with Vettel blocking him,
sure,
he was saying his pace, he would have been P5.
Yeah.
So technically, he would have finished a lot stronger. But, he started in, I feel like he started in like P13 or something crazy. But
he started at P14.
Yeah, it was tough for him. I thought there was going to be a fight yesterday or on Saturday. Yeah, yesterday. The days are blending together.
Yeah, they do blend together. So, so that happened. Alonso passed Russell, and Russell couldn't come back. The tires weren't there. The pace wasn't there. Verstappen finished quite a bit ahead. He even was able to stop and put tires on.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
Yeah, so he could secure the fastest lap.
Yeah.
So he could just get it all.
So
why not?
He got all four things. He got pole,
fastest lap. He won the race, led every lap. Look at him go. Super Max.
Yeah, and like you were saying earlier, that's 5 races in a row for Mercedes or for Red Bull.
Wow.
Excuse me.
Yeah, 5 races in a row. Verstappen, Perez, Verstappen. He won every race of the triple header. Wow.
And technically, if you didn't have that tire blow, you probably would have won that race too.
Yeah.
Even though you said earlier that Hamilton would have raced if he wouldn't have gone straight, if he would have made that turn, which also would have happened too.
Yeah, if Hamilton would have won in Baku, it would be a lot tighter in the championship. But right now, it's not looking pretty. But yeah, as Mercedes says every weekend, we'll regroup, and we'll come back stronger. I'm waiting for them to come back stronger. But I was happy with Bottas. It was a good race for him.
Yeah. So, I mean, technically he did all right. He came in second.
Yeah.
And
I was a little worried when James came on and was like, you can't overtake Lewis.
yeah, and then they probably talked about it for a minute and saw that his pace was doing better, and they figured that was probably when Lewis had some issues with the car.
Yeah, they said Lewis has damage. Yeah. Don't overtake. We're going to review. And then it was like a lap later.
Yeah.
They were like, we're going to switch. So.
And then, so we had Norris also finished third and starting second, which was awesome, but finishing third, which was kind of unexpected. I feel like he even didn't think he was going to
he thought he was going to be P5.
Yeah.
Best case scenario with the 2 Red Bulls and 2 Mercedes.
So he secured it, but his teammate kind of had a pretty good race too, coming from the way back after having not such a good qualifying, which seems to be the case every Saturday for him.
Mm-hmm.
But
Ricardo was 13th to start, or was it 12th?
He was 13th to start.
Yeah, 13th and finished 7th. Yeah, no, it was good for him. He did say in his post interview that he's very tired. It's a lot.
It's a lot of work for these guys for sure. I can only imagine nonstop press interviews, dealing with team meetings and downloads, plus practice and maintaining food and exercise.
Yeah, I know.
It's full days.
Yeah, so they get a week off.
Yep, and then we're in Great Britain.
Mm-hmm.
We're not.
I mean, I wish.
Yeah.
But it'll be a packed house for Lewis, so.
Yeah, but honestly, the big thing, I guess, besides the way the top 3 finished and Lewis not being in the top 3, all the penalties. I think they were just throwing them out.
I think the slogan of the day was penalties.
Yeah.
Started in lap 1 with Lando.
Yeah, so I don't know. How do you feel about that lap 1 move? Tell me.
I said, I'm like, it shouldn't have been a penalty. I mean, it seemed a little extreme. They were racing. And it was like, turn 3, I think? And so, I mean, obviously everybody's super neck and neck, so things are bound to happen. And it's funny because everybody wants hard racing, but then now they're hard racing and everything's a penalty, so it doesn't really make any sense. But no, I mean, I didn't think it was anything out of the ordinary. And for me, I said it, and I'll say it again. If that was a penalty, then Max pushing Lewis out in Imola should have been a penalty.
Well, I guess maybe, but we should have seen it coming. I mean, this whole
Okay, well, let me do a screen grab and post the exact same thing. Yeah. So hold on a second there.
But, so this weekend seemed like there was a lot of penalties because there was penalties from qualifying with Vettel.
Uh-huh.
And who else got a penalty?
Well, it was Vettel for three grid places, and then it was for the race. Norris, 5-second penalty was the first one.
Yep, then we had
Perez. And Tsunoda got a 5-second penalty for crossing the white line in the pit lane.
Twice.
Well, okay, so he did it once, and then he did it again.
Yeah, and then Perez.
And then Perez he was getting scruffy, trying to claw his way back, and him and Leclerc were battling, and Leclerc came around, and he pushed him out into the gravel, got a 5-second penalty, and then was like, I'm going to do it again. And then he did it again to Leclerc.
Yeah.
Again. And got another 5-second penalty. So, I think the Norris penalties, it set the tone. You do it with one person, you got to do it with everybody.
So look at that. So with a 5-second penalty, Norris still beats Hamilton.
Yeah. Well, Hamilton pitted twice and Norris didn't. And Hamilton had damage.
It's true.
So he had...
Man, what a good race.
Low downforce.
What a good race.
Yeah, what a good race. I would have liked to see Norris win, to be honest.
Or Max. Yeah.
Or
Okay.
Max.
Over Max.
Over Max. Yes, okay. Just making sure. I mean, it would have been great. Can you imagine? He might have cried. It would have been great.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, yes, lots of penalties. Pretty crazy. And then the last lap of the race, Max is finishing, crossing the line, and all of a sudden there's a yellow flag, and there's a crash on the last lap.
Between Vettel and Kimi.
Yeah.
And Kimi was also in second place for driver of the day.
Yes.
For what reason, though, other than...
The fans wanted to see, I don't want to say wanted to hear Kimi's post-race interview for being driver of the day.
Yeah, so then instead of that, they got to hear him probably...
Well, he did yell at his engineer for getting waved the black and white flags for track limits. And he, why you bleep, bleep, bleep. So it was pretty funny. But Norris got driver of the day. Very well deserved. Very, very, very well deserved.
So then since we're talking about driver of the day, who is your driver of the day?
I just said Norris.
Oh, there
Definitely.
it is. Definitely Norris.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, I guess if not him,
Carlos? I guess Carlos could have been driver of the day a little bit. We went 49 laps on the hards.
Yeah, which was pretty
49
awesome.
laps.
I said that right in the beginning. I was like, oh, he's on the hards. I see something. Yeah, I guess I would give him that or Max just having a stellar day.
Yeah, I mean, I think going into the race, it was very like, if Max doesn't win, it's going to be a surprise. I mean, Lando was close on qualifying, but...
Yeah, I mean, it was going to be a car issue would not have him win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or a crash. But when you're in first, I mean, it's like
you're
not really going to crash.
Did I don't know how many people got lapped. Here we go.
Well, Max ended up pitting twice, so I think that saved.
So he got all the way up to he passed Alonso.
Yeah, so last race, the Styrian, he lapped everybody up to P4, I think, which is crazy.
Yeah, wasn't quite as far as last weekend.
Yeah, I think really the strategy was because he was coming up to like everybody was so close from like the back half. Everybody was within like a second. It almost seemed like that he was going to come into so much traffic, it was going to be too much. And then because he had so much room, he wanted to secure the bag and get fastest lap. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So kudos to Max, the youngest driver to hit 50 podiums. He got that today. So,
wow.
Congrats, Supermax.
Supermax. I'm waiting for the Supermax song to play.
Oh my God! You were like, "There's so much smoke." It was like,
it was funny.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, what a cool feeling, I'm sure, for him.
Yeah, and he was actually pretty happy. It seemed like at the end, we had to still watch the press conference for the drivers, the podium drivers, but he seemed.
I mean, he should be happy. Like, I get sick of that's the one thing that bothers me is like just be humble. Like, you were P1, got pole, and you're mad because you had to go out first. Like, you're the fastest. You took pole.
I understand, but in his defense, he's fighting against a seasoned champion, 7-time world champion.
I get it.
And the stakes are high, and he wants to say that he thinks he's better than him, and he wants to push himself. So
I mean, obvious. Okay, I get that, but it's just like almost every time in qualifying, he's not happy. He's like, Q3 sucked, and I'm like, he won. He's got pole.
I mean, maybe he thought he missed like 1 or 2 turns.
And every time I see his lap, it's like perfect. So I just don't get it. But, whatever. They got their, their thoughts and their own feelings. But
yeah.
There was a lot that happened this weekend. So Lewis signed for 2 more years. So what are your thoughts on that?
That was big. Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Put that to rest for a little bit.
Very quick. I feel like he signed his contract for this year like 3 days ago.
So we don't know any of the details, obviously. I don't know how many people do. Maybe Toto and him and his management, probably that's about it. But from what they said, it's a contract extension. So whatever was previously determined for this season, they probably just said, all right, we are okay with it. Let's add on to it for two more years. And it's probably feasible for their pay cap and all that kind of stuff. So,
well, yeah, I know he just announced his foundation that he was working on too. So there's a lot to come from that. And I do also know that he said he doesn't want to be racing when he's 40. So is this the end, the last 2 years? So
we'll see.
He's got to get that 8th title. He's got to break the record.
What if they're like, hey, Lewis, we have this completely biofuel car and an electric car that doesn't have any emissions. It's completely green. It's carbon neutral.
I think he's going to want to do something else. I mean, he's been racing for so long.
There's other leagues, too, that are just strictly electric, and he's even, like, owners of some of those, so.
Yeah, no, pretty exciting. I woke up at, like, 6 a.m. It was the first post I saw. I woke you up, like, look, it's official.
Yeah. It was.
So,
yeah.
Pretty cool. So we're excited. So Max ain't getting rid of him yet.
No.
So we'll see.
The next era of cars are going to be pretty sweet and totally, totally different.
Yeah.
And it's a whole new ball game starting next year with cars.
Yeah, which Mercedes seems to be focusing more on next year. So we'll see. But
yeah, you said a good point earlier. You want to go ahead and say it again? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. It seems that Mercedes is doing the same thing Red Bull did in 2013, where they're focusing more on next year's car.
They're
at the
focusing
end,
more on now.
No. Mercedes is focusing more on next year's car.
Okay. Yep.
And it's the end of, this car. We're moving into different regulations next year. And Red Bull is an immediate gratification type of team. So they're obviously capitalizing on that this year. And Mercedes seems to be like heads into 2022. But we also did hear that they have an engine upgrade probably prior to Silverstone. So we'll see what their pace is like next race. But yeah.
You're talking about Mercedes engine upgrade, right?
Yes.
So that's probably due to last weekend's George Russell's engine problem. So because there was a reliability issue, they gave them the opportunity to probably do an upgrade as far as I know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like mid-season at this point, so.
Yeah. And
no time like the present.
There was some scheduled upgrades to come, so they were all scheduled to drop before the Silverstone.
I mean, something's got to happen.
So, yeah. So, I guess anything else you want to talk about the race that kind of pops out? It was pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, it was pretty basic.
Yeah, a few good, battles in the midfield and things like that, but nothing.
They all ended in penalties.
It kind of came and went, and lots of penalties.
We forgot about Max. He was like having a beer out front and just enjoying the win.
So then that's kind of it. Next week is
sprint race.
Well, no, so we have a week off, and then we have finally our first sprint race. Yes, you're right. And that's going to be in that Silverstone. What am I saying?
And this is the first time we get to see the Lewis Hamilton straight.
We do. Adds the Lewis Hamilton straight.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's fun. We were hoping for rain today. We woke up and there was sprinkles. Lewis wore his rain suit and his wellies or whatever they were calling them.
Yep.
His rain boots. And then it was a perfect, beautiful day. So
yeah.
Not a whole lot of excitement, but it's okay. It's okay. On to the next.
Yep. So, all right, we'll see you in 2 weeks. We will be on right after the Silverstone race.
Yes, we will.
And
will it be Red Bull's 6th in a row?
We'll see. These upgrades are probably going to do something. It's home turf for Lewis.
Yeah, Silverstone was exciting last year. It was crazy, but
it's also home turf for Lando too, and George Russell, and it's going to be, it's going to be a good one.
As long as there's no tire blowouts like last year with Lewis driving with 3 wheels into the finish. But that was fun. That was exciting.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, that's it for us. We will see you in 2 weeks. All right.
Bye.
Bye.